Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. My name is Gregory Mack, and this is my channel, and I thank you for joining me. If you're new here, if you've been following me, then you know I've been really waiting for these clutch plates, the friction discs, to come in. They finally arrived today, so I'm very happy about that. I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on what I think about the quality and the thickness. As you can see, the material on there looks pretty good to me. Like you could get your fingernail in there, and there's definitely some quality, I think, to these plates, and I'm happy with that. It's a little different pattern, but again, you can see the old one, very flat, very worn out. There just wasn't any real material left there. So we're doing good there. It's a little too late to start putting them together, but I just started working on washing a few more parts. I got timing covers cleaned up pretty nice, foot peg cleaned up. This was this frame piece where the engine will go. That's the removable piece. This was just so greasy. I mean, it had like an inch of grease on it, but I got it cleaned up pretty nice. So I'm very happy about that, and all these other little handfuls of nuts and bolts. And just wanted to share with you kind of my philosophy on nuts and bolts. Usually when I'm disassembling something, I don't pay that much attention unless it's something super critical and super technical or important, maybe within the internal parts of an engine. But all of these came from removing the engine and the frame, so a lot of this stuff is going to be pretty self-explanatory putting back together, and it may look overwhelming when it's like a pile of nuts and bolts and washers, but what I will do is clearly work my way from the obvious things backwards. Like if there's any of these other little ones I might be in question of, where did that go, or where did that silly little nut or bolt go, and there might be some straggler things that just kind of came into the mix that wasn't even part of this. Like I can see there's two there that I don't know where those came from, just something I picked up off the ground in the windstorm or something. I'm going to start with, this was a top engine bolts, and that went in that bracket, and this was one of these. I think I have two here, and this was from both motors, but one of these will be in the very bottom part of the motor, and then there'll be nuts that fit that. And so you can just, once you start assembling it, it goes pretty good. And like these bigger ones like this were on each side of the engine in there. It doesn't really matter right now. I know one's a little longer than the other, but that will become evident once I start putting those things together. And then the bolts that go to them will also start becoming very evident. And then like the foot peg, it's got a threaded piece on there, and it'll have a nut and a washer, and see, so then you're really kind of left with, like, it starts really winding down. Oh, this went to the drive shaft. It's not that big of a deal, so I don't really worry about it. I worked in a mechanic's garage many years ago, and I watched people take apart so many crazy technical things, complete engines and dashboards and everything like that. And I used to be intimidated by that type of stuff and be like, oh my gosh, how does a person remember where everything goes? And I remember asking a mechanic one time in the shop, I said, because it was what he was doing was just over my head. At the time, I was just very entry-level, light-duty mechanic. And he said, look, they all came out, and they all go back in, right? Like, so what he's saying is there's a home for every nut and bolt. There is a home for every nut and bolt. You shouldn't have any left over, but they all come out of a project. They should all go back into a project. And you kind of, if you're not remembering something, you'll figure it out. And so that's really what I usually do with a lot of things. And if I'm totally stumped on something, then that's when you go to a good shop manual. You know, everybody should have, for whatever bike or project or car they're working on, they should have a decent shop manual, like a Climber manual or a Haynes manual. They come in really handy. I have had one for Goldwings in the past. I honestly don't know if I still have it. It may be somewhere. I haven't needed it yet because I do consider myself to be a pretty good mechanic. I can always get things going and running even if it doesn't look like it. So I trust myself and I trust my mechanical ability. And if I need a manual, there's no shame in that. I'll get a manual. Or I'll look something up online or read some forums, or I mean, there's just vast resources out there. So don't let, if you're ever starting a project or wanting to work on something, don't let the disassembly and all the parts intimidate you. It's not that big of a deal. It really isn't. It may look like a lot, but just keep in mind it will all go back together, you know, and you can have a lot of fun with it. So just briefly, that's all I wanted to discuss this evening. It's kind of windy here now. With the bike, I'll show you one more thing. I got yesterday the brake fluid reservoir swapped over from the old bike, and I got it really cleaned up, and it didn't have any holes in it. I just got to get some fluid in it and let it flush and really work on that some more, but I think that's going to work out really good. So I'm happy with that. I think I'm able to salvage the brake fluid reservoir that was from the black bike. I got it on here, and I'm going to do some more work to that. I just don't have any brake fluid right now. And I have the throttle grip here. Okay, that's going to go on there like that, and then the kill switch start button will encompass that, and that will all go back together really good. And I am going to try to get this cruise control setup working. I would think that would be really, really good if that works. Part of that is from the other bike, but I do have the one that went on there, and I may have to transfer this over because one of the bolts looks bigger. See that bolt hole there is bigger on that, so I might have to use the old one, and I think that was the nut there. Not a big deal, real simple stuff. I did order some new throttle cables. I got a pretty good deal on them, I think, 20 bucks for 2 shipped. Okay, so that's good. So when I get those will go in the throttle grip, and then I'll route that down and back down through there wherever it was. I have the carburetors inside. I did take those inside. I disassembled all the bowls. I got them all cleaned as best I possibly could. Exterior and interior of the bowls, so they basically will be like a rebuilt set of carbs, I believe. So I feel really happy about that. So we will have, and I got in a tub all the clutch parts, and if the weather permits tomorrow, if I feel up to it after work, I am going to try and put the clutch in. I am going to try to put the clutch in tomorrow. Put the alternator cover on and try to get the rear of the motor button back up and maybe get the motor positioned or the bike repositioned for reinstallation. Yeah, you know, look, the vision is coming together. It's all coming together, you know. And at times it seemed overwhelming, and it seemed like this type of stuff can just never happen. You know, I get those feelings myself sometimes when I look at all of this stuff and it's a mess. But just spending some time when I do have it in the evenings, in between everything else I have to do, like everyone else in this world, things do come together, you know? Took a week, but parts do show up. They do show up, and I got a whole bag of the clutch plates here, and just put that in there, and reassembly. I think it's all going to go really smooth, so I'm very happy with the way things are going. I feel good about everything. I hope you guys feel good about it. I appreciate you joining me. I know that everyone is out there doing their own thing, and I hope that there's something you might be able to pull from any one of my videos to keep going. You know, that's the message I always want to try and leave everybody with. Whatever you're doing, have patience, courage, persevere through the challenges, keep the vision that you want at the end. You've already seen it, you already know that's what's going to happen, and enjoy the journey. Okay, so we'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks for being here. This is Gregory Mack. I'm out.